everyone. Green morning, green afternoon, green evening. What a pleasure to have all the way right from Kyrgyzstan, Madam Dr. Shilpi Mohan. She is a leading cardiologist, and today is a World Heart Day. जब दिल की बात हो, दिल से दिल की बात हो, दिलों की बात हो, और जब हम दिल की धड़कन की बातचीत करें, जब तक दिल धड़केगा तब तक दुनिया धड़केगी और दुनिया चलेगी और दुनिया में सब कुछ होगा। ये जो दिल है, बस ये दिल मांगे मोर, दिल दे के देखो, दिल दिया दर्द लिया, दिल ने पुकारा, दिल ने फिर याद किया। कितनी चीजें दिल पर ही बनी हैं। ये दिल का ही मामला है। पंजाबी में भी गुरदास मान जी का गाना है, दिल दा मामला है। सो सब कुछ दिल से ही है। दिल 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 दिल, that is the kind of a thing Gurdas Manji also says. So ladies and gentlemen, we are joining all the way. We are getting an eminent cardiologist all the way from the Central Asia, Dr. Shilpi Mohan ma'am. She is joining us from Kyrgyzstan. And today we have taken on this World Heart Day, a very special topic for you, harnessing the power of digital health globally. When you talk about it, that means how globally we are connected. Although ma'am, at present she is practicing, she is there in Kyrgyzstan, but she is giving a lot of digital consultancy. She is giving online teleconsultancy. She's helping out everybody in a great way. And my whole family is so much indebted to her, because my younger brother during the Corona days, he was deeply, deeply infected, impacted, and he had lots of challenges with his health. It was she who gave us a lot of support from there, help from there. My family and myself personally, we will always remain indebted to her for her good gesture. And as an elder brother, I always send my blessings to her. She's a wonderful human being. She's a wonderful person, क्योंकि आखिरकार इनका भी तो एक दिल है जो इन्होंने मोहन जी को दिया हुआ है. So Dr. Shilpi Mohan ma'am, उनके हस्बैंड और उनके दोनों प्यारे बच्चों को हमारी बहुत बहुत आज के दिन में शुभकामनाएं, आज का स्वागत. And ladies and gentlemen, we extend you a very warm welcome on the World Heart Day along with Dr. Shilpi Mohan ma'am. Let me just share quickly few slides with you. Our chamber, which is a link between India and all the non-resident Indians world over, we are focusing, of course, on education, but these doctors like Dr. Shilpi Mohan ma'am, they are doing great service. They are the great warriors. We got to salute them. And we are really, really privileged that these doctors are around and they have taken care of everybody world over. Our chamber had been focusing on education because children, parents, everybody needs a lot of support system. This program is coming all the way to you from Bishkek, that is Kyrgyzstan, Central Asia. We have shown you all the countries over here: Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and Tajikistan, and Kyrgyzstan. And of course, we have shown you separately on the right-hand side a map, and you can also see right over there the Bishkek. So Central Asia, welcome to Central Asia, and meet everybody over there. Today in the evening, what time it is, Chitra ma'am? 5:30 p.m. 5:30 p.m. Chitra ma'am is bringing another very special program today, film-induced tourism destination marketing. So आज दिल की बात है, तो दिल की धड़कनों के साथ डेस्टिनेशन मार्केटिंग की भी शाम को फिल्मों की बातचीत करेंगे, और हम ये भी बात करेंगे कि सेंट्रल एशिया में किन फिल्मों की शूटिंग हुई, और रात को फिर आपको ई गुरुकुल में लेकर चलेंगे, जहां पर हम मॉडर्न गुरुकुल की बातचीत कर रहे हैं, ई गुरुकुल की बातचीत कर रहे हैं, डिजिटल गुरुकुल की बातचीत कर रहे हैं, और उसके अंदर ये हम आज आपसे शेयर करेंगे, टुडे मैटर्स. यस, आज का दिन आपकी जिंदगी में बहुत कीमती है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, बहुत महत्व रखता है. हर दिन, हर पल कीमती है. ये हमें डॉक्टरों से समझना पड़ेगा, और खासकर जो दिल के डॉक्टर हैं, इनसे ज्यादा समझना पड़ेगा. आपकी दिल की धड़कन थोड़ी सी रुक जाती है, क्योंकि हमेशा जब आप किसी को प्यार कहते हैं तो आप कहते हैं मेरी दिल की धड़कन रुक रही है, लेकिन असल में वो रुकनी नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर वो रुक गई तो सब कुछ रुक जाएगा. So whatsoever human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Let's get together. let's all of us be together and extend a very hearty welcome and a very warm welcome all the way right in Kyrgyzstan, Dr. Shilpi Mohan ma'am, who is joining us. She's a consultant cardiologist as well. And there's a Apollo Clinic. If you know, there's a cardiac care center that's in Secunderabad. When you know about Telangana, she's giving a lot of medicines, consultancy, and she's helping everybody. She's awarded by the Prime Time Research Media as the most prominent cardiologist of the year 2019 in Secunderabad. She's a consultant cardiologist at the Orchid Medical Centre, Ranchi. She's also a consultant cardiologist, Columbia Asia Hospital, Palam Vihar in Gurugram. She's an associate consultant cardiologist at Artemis Health Institute, Gurugram, alumni of the Army Hospital, Research and Referral, New Delhi. Her areas of interest: preventive cardiology and holistic healing. Holistic healing बहुत important है. The other day she was with Dr. Parmeshwar Arora ji, and for the first time in our chamber, we brought allopathic doctor and the Ayurvedic doctor, and both of them, they gave such a wonderful input, and she is very, very positive and very supportive that everything has to be done in a natural way, in a holistic way. Guest columnist in leading English daily of Central Asia, Central India, the Hitavada. Then guest speaker at international and national conferences. She also contributes a lot of papers, and she spent a lot of time in present Chhattisgarh, that is Bilaspur, Raipur. She also spent time in Jabalpur, and coming from the armed forces background, she is trying to help the humanity the best possible way wherever the people are. So ladies and gentlemen, join me in extending this morning a very hearty welcome, very warm welcome, and such a pleasure to have Dr. Shilpi Mohan ma'am, the MD Medicine, the DMS Cardiology, FICC, FCCP, consultant cardiologist, all the way from the Central Asia, from Kyrgyzstan, on the World Heart Day today. And with these words, we extend a very warm welcome to Dr. Shilpi Mohan ma'am, and I would request Chitra ma'am to kindly take on the floor further, and we just move on. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thanks for joining us this morning. It's indeed such a pleasure that you have joined us all the way from Central Asia, and you are doing a great, great human service. And my family particularly is so much indebted to you, all that you have done during the second wave of the corona, because a lot of people suffered, and all the time I had been bothering you, and you have been very, very kind. You have been given the complimentary consultancy to so many people. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless your hubby, and God bless you both the kids. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Shilpi Mohan ma'am on the World Heart Day. Ma'am, all yours. Your mic is muted, ma'am.
Yeah. So good morning, all of you. First of all, thank you, Dr. Gulshan Sharma ji, for giving me the opportunity to talk on this wonderful platform, which is bringing all the people together from all the parts of the world. And he has such high energy levels that we have to actually examine his heart, that from where he gets all the energy and enthusiasm throughout the day to conduct so many webinars throughout the day, 365 days a year. So I need to salute him for that. And with these words, I'll share a PowerPoint presentation and try to connect all of us together.
Thank you, ma'am. Pleasure to have you with us. Pleasure to have you with us. Thank you. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
So I'll do a PowerPoint presentation, and along with that, we will keep on discussing various aspects related to the heart. So first of all, I wish all of you a very happy World Heart Day. And just give me a moment.
We can see it, ma'am. We can
see. You can see it? Yes.
We can see it, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah. So on this World Heart Day, what we intend to do, as you can see, we are going to have a heart-to-heart about the heart. And the thing is, we have to connect our hearts together. And that is the motto of World Heart Day 2021. We are all from different parts of the world and we are connected to each other digitally. So we intend to use this digital platform to make our heart more healthy and happy. So first of all, I would like to tell you about briefly about the World Heart Day. It was started in the year 2000 by the erstwhile president of World Heart Federation, Antonio Di Nuna, and he was the one who conceptualized this idea. And initially, it was celebrated on the last Sunday of each September. But then from 2011, it is earmarked on 29th of September. And from that day onwards, we keep one motto and then we celebrate it on that particular day. So this year's motto is to connect the heart digitally.
All over the world, hearts are hearting. Some places have it worse than others. What can we do to connect our hearts? It starts with how we can use heart to make healthy choices. But what if those choices are not accessible? To connect with our own hearts, to monitor our hearts, to understand our risk. To connect to every heart. We want everyone to have access to the same all over the world, hearts are hearting. Some places have it worse than others. What can we do to connect our hearts? It starts with how we can use heart to make healthy choices. But what if those choices are not accessible? To connect with our own hearts, to monitor our hearts, to understand our risk. To connect to every heart. We want everyone to have access to the same tools, the same opportunities, to connect people with cardiovascular disease, to create community. Will you use heart to connect?
So today we are going to use our heart to connect. As you all know that the heart attack is the #1 killer disease, and Indians are more susceptible than any other ethnic group. If we look at the statistics, we are 4 times more prone than Americans and Europeans, 6 times more than Chinese, and 20 times that of Japanese. And the disease incidence is such that we tend to have heart attack at a much younger age. Like if you see in other parts of the world, in the Western world, if they get it in 50s or 60s, we tend to have it in 30s or 40s. And we tend to have a more severe problem, and the incidence of second heart attack, that also is much higher, and we have a higher mortality than whites. Now the question is, why me? Why we Indians are more prone to have a heart problem? We can blame it on genes, because genetically we are more predisposed to have a heart problem. And secondly, because of the rapid urbanization, जैसे कि हम shift away from a rural area to urban areas, and because of the rapid urbanization and the change in the lifestyle, more rapid urbanization and sedentary lifestyle, our body is not able to handle the fat metabolism as good as Westerners. So that is one reason why we are more prone to have a heart problem. If you look at your grandfather and grandparents itna walk karte the, itna chalte the, they used to walk so many kilometers to go to the school. Nowadays we are just sticking onto our table, and then we are eating a lot of junk food, which is causing a lot of problems. Now there are certain risk factors which we cannot control, and there are others which we can control. Am I audible, please?
Yes, ma'am, you are perfectly audible. Thank
Fine,
you. Please
fine.
go ahead.
Yeah. So there are certain risk factors which we cannot control, like age. How hard we try to remain young, color our hair and do whatever, but we tend to age and we tend to grow old. Males are more predisposed to have a heart problem till menopause. Like after menopause, women are at equal risk, but till menopause, males are more prone to have a heart problem. Then race, we have already discussed that, and family history. Family history is very, very important. If a person has a family history of a heart problem, he should be very careful and get regular checkup so as to detect a heart problem at an early age. There are other risk factors which we can check upon, and that is the point of discussion today, like high cholesterol, smoking, high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, alcohol, physical inactivity, and stress. What I mean to say is there are certain risk factors which we cannot change, but there are certain risk factors which are in our hand, and we can work upon that so that we can better take care of our heart. Hurry, curry, and worry leads to heart disease. So we should avoid hurry, worry, and curry. We should remember this simple terms, hurry, worry, and curry. We are always in a hurry to reach somewhere. कहीं जाना है, दौड़ के जाना है, जल्दी जल्दी पहुंचना है. We are always in a stress and we worry of everything under the sun. Election में कौन जीत रहा है, कहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, weather, how is the weather outside, whether it's going to rain or not. We are worried about everything. And curries are Indian favorite, all-time favorite, so that we always want to have. So these are the three things which we need to avoid. First of all, I'll show you a video which will give you an idea how a heart disease occur or how a heart attack occurs, and then we will go ahead with the discussion.
Myocardial infarction, commonly referred to as heart attack, is the sudden death of part of the heart muscle due to loss of blood flow. This occurs when one of the coronary arteries, the arteries that supply blood to the heart, is blocked. The blockage is commonly due to atherosclerosis, cholesterol plaques or fat deposits on the wall of blood vessels. As the plaque builds up, the vessel becomes narrow, restricting blood flow. Under stress, the plaque may rupture. This triggers formation of blood clot on top of the plaque, leading to complete blockage of blood flow. When this happens in the coronary artery, the downstream patch of the myocardium dies from lack of oxygen. Weakened heart muscle may disrupt electrical activity of the heart and subsequently cause cardiac arrest.
So as we have seen in this video, this is the cross section of the artery, which we have discussed. And here you can see the slowly the cholesterol starts depositing. This is the fat, which is known as cholesterol, which starts depositing. This is the vessel lumen. And once it starts depositing or forming a heap, slowly this is the lumen, and this starts getting obstructed. And we feel that this deposition starts at an older age. But the thing is, it is a myth. Fat deposition starts as early as 2 years of age. So we have to see what our children are eating, because as early as 2 years of age, the fat starts depositing in the arteries. And as this happens slowly over a period of time, when it starts obstructing the lumen, the chest pain and other symptoms starts appearing. So we have to be very careful what our children are eating. What gets deposited is cholesterol, which is essential for our body. It is not that we don't need cholesterol. It is essential for our body, but too much of it, which gets deposited, that forms a plaque and causes the obstruction. Now you will say, my heart has survived 16 girlfriends, 7 fiancés, 4 ex-wives. So why should my heart be afraid of cheeseburger? No, we have to be worried, and our heart should be worried about the cheese and the cholesterol intake which we are doing. And where does this cholesterol comes from? Not only from the diet which we are having, it is also the metabolism which is important. How our body metabolizes the fat, that also is important. So you must have heard many times, हम खाते तो ज्यादा कुछ नहीं है लेकिन फिर भी हमको फैट डिपॉजिट हो जाता है, फिर भी हमारा वेट गेन हो जाता है. बिकॉज अगर आपका मेटाबॉलिज्म स्लो है तो आप जो भी खाएंगे वो फैट में कन्वर्ट होगा, बिकॉज फैट इज द फॉर्म इन विच द बॉडी डिपॉजिट्स. इट्स लाइक अ बैंक. फैट डिपॉजिट करेगी, एंड बिकॉज मेटाबॉलिज्म इज स्लो, these deposited fat will cause problem in the later future. So to keep it simple, I'll tell you what are the types of cholesterol and how we can monitor that. So there is something which is known as good cholesterol, which starts from H, which is known as HDL, bad cholesterol, LDL, and ugly cholesterol is triglyceride. Whenever you see your lipid profile, you yourself can make out that these are the 3 types of cholesterol which you have to keep an eye upon. We are discussing the risk factors, so I will highlight that obesity is something which makes one person more prone to have a heart problem. Not that the heart problem is not going to happen in a thin individual, but yes, obesity is something which increases the incidence of heart disease. And the question is whether it is the pear-shaped obesity or apple-shaped obesity which causes more of a problem. I'll explain what is the difference between the two. If you see the pear-shaped obesity, it is more around the hip and the thighs, just under the surface of the skin. And apple-shaped obesity is more around the truncal region. And this truncal region obesity, which surrounds the internal organs, they make us more prone to have a heart problem. आपने देखा होगा बहुत सारे लोगों को मोटापा होता है, but अलग-अलग टाइप का मोटापा होता है. In Indians, more so, पेट के आसपास मोटापा ज्यादा होता है. ट्रंकल ओबेसिटी इज मोर कॉमन. बाकी बॉडी थिन होगी लेकिन एब्डोमिनल फैट ज्यादा होगा, which makes us more prone to have a heart problem. So less luggage, more comfort. So we have to reduce our weight in whichever way so as to keep our heart healthy. And the main reason responsible for this is physical inactivity. Every morning, I like this very much. Every morning, my brain tells me to exercise and my body laughs at the idea. Every day, every year, we make a resolution that this year we are going to do physical activity, physical exercise, but we can't start. That is the problem. We don't start. The main point is any form of physical activity is important. हमारे साथ क्या होता है, हम सोचते हैं कि जो हम बहुत करेंगे, जिम जाएंगे, सब कुछ करेंगे तभी होगा, which is not important. कितना वॉक कर सकते हैं, whatever way you can exercise, that is important. Keep walking, keep moving in whichever way possible. And using remote for TV or AC, healthy heart becomes a remote possibility. So even घर में भी आप हैं, ऐसा नहीं कि घर से बाहर नहीं निकल पा रहे हैं, जैसे लॉकडाउन में चल रहा था. You can easily move inside the house to and count your steps and keep your heart healthy. Next comes smoking. Smoking is one risk factor which is very, very important. If you ask me today, I want to start with one thing, then I would say if you smoke, please stop smoking. This is something which is most important because it not only increases blood pressure, it decreases HDL, it damages arteries and increases the chances of heart attack. And it has got more than 4,000 chemicals, out of which 200 are extremely poisonous. So one should intend to not to reduce smoking, one should stop smoking. And if you think you are smoking the cigarette, you are mistaken. It's the other way around because it is smoking away your life. It is just reducing your longevity. Next comes alcohol. In small amount, it is beneficial, but that does not mean you over the weekend you start off. Yes, it is beneficial, but if it is taken in larger amount, it increases the triglyceride levels and it increases the blood pressure. And if you take more than 4 drinks per day, then you end up going to a gastroenterologist, not me. But one should tend to control the alcohol intake, and that too not more than 60 to 90 ml per week. And in women, because our body metabolism cannot handle alcohol as well, so we should keep a tight control over the alcohol intake. The next risk factors is diabetes. Diabetes is something which, if there at any given cholesterol level, increases the risk of a heart attack or stroke. And 80% of the diabetic patients, they die of heart disease. And even the risk of sudden cardiac death is much higher in diabetics. So if a person has a diabetes, we keep it as a separate risk factor for a coronary artery disease. So now that we know of all the risk factors, I'll first of all tell you how it works. There's so many risk factors, as you have seen: age, sex, then genetic predisposition, then all the risk factors like blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, overweight, smoking, and all those things. The risk is multiplicative. So if you have small elevation in each of them, then it will cause a higher risk than elevation of only a single risk factor. I'll give you an example. Suppose a person has a high blood pressure, but other risk factors are not there. His cholesterol is under control. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't have a genetic predisposition to have a heart problem. He is not diabetic. So the chances of him having a cardiac or a coronary artery disease, which will be lesser than a person who has a borderline blood pressure, borderline diabetes, he smokes as well, he has a little bit of truncal obesity. So in such a case, the risk factor or the chances of having a heart problem will be much higher. So what I mean to say is, it is 1 plus 1 plus 1. If you multiply the risk factors, it increases the chances of having a heart problem than an elevation of just one risk factor. Now coming to what should we do to take care of all the risk factors which are in our hand, not that of all those factors which are not in our hand, but what we can do to take care of the risk factors, and especially on this day when we are connected each other digitally and when the world is so connected with each other, can we really do something to take better care of our heart? So for my car, I want the best mechanic. But for my own body, I follow hearsay and advice from friends, kiddie party, local quacks, and just anything and decide for the worst. And in Indian setup, this is more applicable. Wherever you go, drawing room mein, wherever people talk of health, and then there is one doctor in all the houses. कुछ ना कुछ नुस्खे होंगे, कोई ना कोई बताएगा, and people start following that. And there are certain creative strategies which does not work. Like, we don't want to get tested. If I get a test, then I'll come to know of some problems. So it is better I avoid test. Never been to doctor because I hate them. I never take allopathic medications. I don't like them. I don't take medicines at all because they are going to make me sick. When my blood pressure became normal, I stopped medicines because it became normal. These I listen in every day in my clinic. Then miracle men and miracle medicines, उसने कुछ बता दिया था ये कर लेना तो मैंने वो कर लिया, and I am my own doctor and I don't want to pay any fee. So these creative strategies actually doesn't work. What we can do in a simple way to keep our heart healthy. Rule number 1 is look at what you are eating. So you should eat a variety of fruits and vegetables, especially vegetables. One should not consume overripe fruits and keep a multicolor vegetables and fruits in a day. Eat whole grain and choose non-fat or low-fat products and switch over to fat-free milk or toned or skimmed milk. Milk products are fattening, so one should cut down on that. And especially red meats, one should avoid chicken, fish, and any form of non-vegetarian products. One should keep a check on that and take it in a limited amount. One should avoid food which is very high in calories but low in nutrition, like soft drinks, candies, junk foods. All these things one should try to keep a check upon, and not take food which are high in saturated or trans fats. Jo, most of those burgers and pizzas which we have from outside, of fried food, they have trans fats. 0% fat and all those things will be written on the label, but then they have trans fats which are not good for heart. We should keep a check over the salt intake, which is very, very important. And alcohol, as I have already mentioned, not more than 60 to 90 ml per week. One should limit food which are high in cholesterol, like egg yolk, fatty meat, then butter chicken, and all these things which will make a mouth-watering experience to you, like butter, cheese, malai, rabdi, kurchan, ice cream, everything, cheese, cakes, pastries, patties, all these things we love, but we should keep a check upon all these things. Cooking oil is something which we are always worried about, and in my clinic there are so many questions. कौन सा oil use करें, क्या करें? See, no oil is totally bad or totally good. What we need to do is we have to have a mix of oil. Mix of oil means does not mean कि एक ही खाने में अलग अलग ऑयल मिलाना है, बट कुछ चीज को किसी ऑयल में बनाइए, दूसरी चीज को किसी ऑयल में मिलाइए, बनाइए, उससे you get a right mix of oil. And every 3 months rotate your oil. Don't use the same oil throughout your life, and try to use cold pressed oil. कच्ची घनी का जो तेल है या cold pressed oil है, which is not a processed oil, it is much better for our cooking. And totally avoid those things like vanaspati ghee, dalda, and all those things. Daldas, especially, they have trans fats. Try to totally stop them. Other oils you can use in moderate amount. Indian cooking के लिए olive oil is not all that great, because Indian cooking में हम लोग heat में expose करते हैं food को, and olive oil loses its good part when it is heated. So if you are making pastas or these salads and other things, you can top it up with olive oil. But other food products which we are cooking daily, try to cook it in normal oil and keep a mix of oil which you can use for different things or different form of cooking. Then comes exercise. Exercise is something which should be an integral part of your life. एक्सरसाइज का मतलब ये नहीं कि हम जाएंगे जिम जाएंगे या हमको वॉक ही करना, हमको एक्सरसाइज ही करना पड़ेगा. The guidelines state that even 3 hours of total walking per week is good. So out of so many hours in a week, at least 3 hours on any day, not on a single day, उसको आप break करके भी कर सकते हैं, but at least 3 hours or 150 minutes of total walking in a week one should aim upon. Per day के steps देखें तो around 8,000 to 10,000 steps in a day in any form you can do. And moderate to intense exercise. Moderate exercise is quite good, which you can do for 30 to 45 minutes on 5 days a week, keeping a gap of 2 days. That is quite good to keep your heart healthy. I'll tell you why exercise is important. It is not something which is just helping you to lose weight. Exercise, how it helps, it opens up channels in your heart. In your heart, as you can see, there is a web of arteries outside, which we saw in that animation video, and they supply your heart. So when you exercise, small channels or bypass channels, they open between those two arteries. So in case block from any obstruction occurs at any point of the artery, those collateral channels or bypass, they allow the blood to flow through that. It is like having multiple bypasses in Delhi or network of bypass. तो बहुत ज़्यादा traffic jam होने लगता है, तो you can move from the different bypass. So it works that way. So it improves those bypass channels, which is known as angiogenesis. Other than that, it improves the level of serotonin, so keeps you positive, cuts down stress, then helps in better assimilation of fat and better metabolism of fat. And one should just aim at walking. Gym jana, those fancy things, if you cannot do, just forget everything, buy a good pair of shoes and just start walking. There are 7 different types of exercises like walking, jogging, running, cycling, swimming, outdoor games, yogasanas, and meditation. Any of them you adopt. If you don't adopt them, you end up taking 7 colors of capsule. So the choice is yours. Start with any form of exercise and get rid of these capsules. Now the rule number 3 is stop smoking. I would emphasize and re-emphasize that smoking is injurious to your health. So please stop smoking. And within 24 hours of quitting smoking, the risk of heart attack starts reducing. And this is very important. Within 2 years, it reaches the level of a non-smoker. So this is a very good news that when you stop smoking, you reach that level of a non-smoker within 2 years. So today is the right day to start and stop smoking. And know your numbers. That's not the mobile numbers of your friends or your girlfriends. You should know these numbers. Total cholesterol less than 200, LDL less than 100, HDL more than 40, and then triglycerides less than 200. So these levels you should know. And the only thing worse than finding out is one condition, not finding out that you have it. Don't keep an eye closed. Today, the world is all connected. We all get everything digitally. So please go to the lab, get it done, know your levels. If you have any problem, connect to your doctor and just keep a check over these levels. Keep a check over your blood pressure and check at least once every month. It is, you can go to any place and now everybody has a monitor at home. You can check your blood pressure. Normal range is around 120/80. As soon as it starts going more than 120/80, starts reaching 130/90, please get in touch with a doctor and modify your lifestyle. Don't take extra salt. Preserved food, then papad, pickle, sauce, all these things have extra salt. So don't consume all these things. Avoid or don't consume in a large amount. And if you have blood pressure, don't stop your medication if your BP comes under control, because it is coming under control because of the medicine. Please be in touch with the doctor. He will or she will reduce the dosage, but don't do it on your own, because it is not something like malaria or headache ki dawai khaya tha theek ho gaya. You have to keep taking the medication till your doctor tells you to stop the medication. Then check your blood sugar once in 6 months. And you should know this number: fasting less than 100 and PP less than 140. You can monitor your ideal body weight, which is simple. Height in centimeter minus 100 is your weight in kgs. This is your ideal body weight, which you can check at home. And then how much calorie you need. I have given you a very simple calculation which you can do. Like if you see if the body weight is 80 kgs, suppose your body weight is 80 kgs and your ideal body weight, which you have calculated from the previous slide, is 70 kgs. So 80 into 30 is 2400 kilocalories, which you are having in a day. If your ideal body weight is 70, that means 300 calories you are consuming extra, kilocalories you are consuming extra. So you have to cut down on that. So you can very easily calculate कि मेरा कितना है total kilocalorie intake and कितना मेरा ideal है, and उसको मुझे I have to cut down on that in whichever way possible. Then one should.
Ma'am, I'm sorry to interrupt. आप एक बार पिछली slide दोबारा दिखा दीजिए. That is very informative. If anybody wants to note it down, they can.
Yes, definitely. I'll come from here. So height in centimeter minus 100 is the weight in kgs. Suppose your height is 172 centimeters minus 100, 72 kgs. So this is your ideal body weight. So what you can do is you can keep it ranging from 70 to 75. उसके बीच में ही रहना है. I'll cut it short. 70 to 73 का range रखिए कि मुझे उतने में ही रखना है अपना body weight. अब now this, how much kilocalories? Suppose आपका ideal body weight was 70 kgs and if you calculate it today, your body weight is 80 kgs. So that means how much kilocalories you are having in a day is 2400 kilocalories. That is 80 into 30 kilocalorie per day. So that is 2400 kilocalorie per day. But as your ideal body weight was 70 kgs, So this thing is coming to 2100. So 300 kilocalories you're taking excess. So you have to cut down on that. How can you do that? By reducing the intake, especially reducing your intake at the dinner time. You should have a breakfast like a king and have a dinner like a pauper. That is what you intend to do. Have a good sumptuous breakfast, a light lunch, and the lightest dinner. Because what happens is, if you have a very high intake of dinner or a heavy dinner, and usually in Indians we have a tendency, because kya hota hai, Westerners, because I'm here, I am seeing how they eat. They eat very light dinner. 6:30, 7 o'clock they complete their dinner. Especially they take a lot of proteins and they finish it off. In India, what happens is, because we all get together at the dinner time, everybody is going for work and all this thing. When we sit together for dinner, we tend to overeat. And as we tend to overeat, uske baad hum exercise to karenge nahi. Maybe we'll watch some TV, Arnab Goswami ka show dekha and all those things. And uske baad then we go off to bed. So whatever we are eating in the dinner time, where are we utilizing it? We are not burning it out. See, it is input is equal to output. And output should be more than the input. So usme aapka body weight maintain hoga. Aapka input is more and output is not there. Then where will it get deposited? It will get deposited in the body. So if your dinner input is high and after that you're not exercising or not doing anything and you're sleeping, output is nothing. Output means expenditure, supply and demand. So you're not using or utilizing that food which you're eating. Where will it get deposited? It will get deposited as fat. And that is why we tend to have a higher body weight as compared to Westerners. And truncal obesity bhi isliye hota because all these things get deposited around our abdomen. So what one should do, if you really want to eat well, have a very good high carb breakfast, light lunch, and the lightest dinner. अगर if you look at your grandparents, उस समय याद करिए 7:30 तक सब खा के एकदम light dinner करके they used to finish it off. Late dinners के साथ there is no time for body to metabolize it. If you take your dinners early, body gets at least 3 to 4 hours to metabolize whatever you are eating. So the fat deposition will be much, much lesser. So this thing one should keep in mind, what to eat, when to eat, and how to eat it right. That is very, very important. And one should de-stress. That is very important. Meditation, 10 minutes morning and night. In some way or the other, whatever form of meditation, you can do mantra meditation, chanting, do guided meditation. But meditation, how it helps, it calms you down. Once it calms the body, the metabolism becomes much, much better. Your hormone levels are better. Then your serotonin levels are good. And so the body can easily digest food. So many times you have seen people say, I don't eat anything wrong, but still I gain weight. Why? Because there is always a stress in the body. And because the stress is there, the body metabolism is not proper, body accumulates a lot of toxins and the fat gets deposited in the body. So meditation, yogasanas, some or the other yogasanas, you don't have to do all fancy yogasanas which can break your back. No need. Simple yogasanas, twisting motions, all these things are important, which can keep you healthy. Then laugh a lot. That is very, very important. Laughter therapy is very, very important. Have a smiling face and laugh a lot, because it not only keeps your healthy heart, it stimulates the vagus. And I'll explain it to you in a much better way. What happens is, in a body, there is a fight and flight response, and which is known as sympathetic response and a parasympathetic response. There is a balance in the body. So what happens is, the sympathetic stimulation or fight or flight response makes our body to go ahead, work, brings that drive in us to get up in the morning and do all the work. But what happens is, we are most of the time in that fight and flight response. वो जाना है, वो पकड़ना है, ये करना है, उससे आगे निकलना है, ये goals achieve करने हैं, and we are always in that fight and flight response. And the parasympathetic, which keeps us slow, calms us down, that is just kept aside. So what happens is, your heart is always agitated, always in a tense state. Tense state means there is always an increase in the heart rate, your BP goes high, and all those problems occurs. When you have a hearty laughter, then your vagus gets stimulated and the body calms down, your heart rate slows down, and the heart gets rest to pump better and relax better and provide your body with a better circulation. So keeping your heart rate slow is a very good way. And how can we do that? By doing meditation, yogasanas, and by having a good healthy laughter. Anything which stimulates vagus will keep your heart healthy. I'll elaborate upon that. If you see, those animals which have a slower heart rate, they tend to live a longer life. So we should keep a check over our heart rate, because our respiration will also slow down and our longevity will increase. कहते हैं ना, सांसें गिनी हुई है और हमारे हार्ट रेट जितनी है हमारी सांसें गिनी हुई है, और सांसों का कोरिलेशन किससे? हमारे हार्ट बीट के साथ है. तो अगर हमारी सांसें कंट्रोल रहेंगी तो हमारा हार्ट बीट भी कंट्रोल रहेगा और हमारी longevity या total age with which to which we can live will be longer. So today the take home message is, we should avoid tobacco, be more active, choose to have a good nutrition and keep our heart healthy. We are all connected all across the world now. Knowing things and understanding things are not difficult. It is just not to keep our eyes closed. It is just to open up. And whatever I have told, whatever I have mentioned, it is not to scare anyone. It is something which is modifiable. Everybody can control it. So it is better today we take a step to control and have a very happy and healthy heart. Life Simple 7 for a healthy heart: eat right, exercise, don't smoke, and keep a check over your blood sugar, blood pressure, blood cholesterol, and body weight. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. If you can just stop. Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am. And it's a really, I can say that it is really a heart-to-heart conversation. Because I tell you, all the questions that I've jotted down, the audience that have asked, you have replied all of them, ma'am. So it's a really a heart-to-heart conversation. Like I have listed down the questions. Somebody has asked that what are the tips for healthy heart or healthy living, and how many steps do we should take every day? You have answered that also. And then somebody has asked how to control cholesterol, and apart from walking, what all other exercises can we do? Every question you have answered. It's a kind of like your heart is listening what others are saying. So I am saying that it's a completely and heart-to-heart conversation. But still, one doubt that is there in my consciousness, I want to ask. I've heard it, ma'am. I don't know it's a myth or it's a reality. I want to ask it from you because doctor and cardiologist specialist is sitting here. So many times, like we don't know how to check the cholesterol, and many times we don't go to doctor or anything checkup. Like so, in general, somebody has told me that if you have to check that your BP is high, so you can just place your thumb on your wrist and you can check your pulse. If the pulse is going high, the pulse is beating fast, so that means your heart, that blood pressure is low. So it's a vice versa. And if the pulse is getting low, so that means your BP is high. So is that so? It's like the simplest thing to check your blood pressure, ma'am?
No, actually what happens is pulse and blood pressure, they are correlated with each other, but it always doesn't work that way. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Suppose your pulse volume is low or you're not able to feel your pulse. It may happen that somebody is losing blood, and because of that the blood volume is less, and the the pressure which you are feeling over your pulse is not too high. So it doesn't work synchronously. Yes, if you are at home and you are checking your pulse and you are getting a feel that yes, it is going high or low, you should contact the doctor, but it should not happen that you just depend on that. because there are various factors which can play a role on the pulse. I'll give you another example, then you'll understand. In old age, what happens is the vessel wall becomes thick. So the pulse volume you will feel will be very high because of the thickness of the vessel wall. But still, the blood pressure may not correlate with that. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
So,
yes.
yeah. So one should keep a check on that, but one should not totally rely on that. That's the answer to your question.
Right. And also, I would like to tell you, ma'am, that the slides, each and every slide that you have shown today is worth watching, worth listening, and a very informative presentation you have put in front of all of us. But the 2 slides that you have repeated twice, that is the core thing. Like any youngster, anyone wants to get a healthy living and wants to start healthy living from today, they should get the guidance from those 2 slides. And I recommend all my viewers, those who are listening, please share this video, this YouTube live video with everyone whom you know and you want to spread a healthy message to them. Please share this video with everyone so that they got to know that what we have to start doing from today if they are not doing for getting a healthy heart and healthy living. So with this, I sincerely want to say thank you, ma'am. Thank you for coming on our platform. Thank you for sharing your views. And to everyone, I just want to say that live healthy and stay young at heart, because love your heart if you love yourself. This is the message that ma'am wants to give, Dr. Shilpi Mohan ma'am wants to give, and even ICSI, the entire team of ICSI want to give to all of you. We want you should live healthy, you should live happily, and you should love your heart. All the times you are on this planet, you are on our earth, and you are contributing yourself with the humanity. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.